Hey Mixers, welcome back to another NBA player props video. I'm filming this video for the Wednesday picks. I already did a video for the Tuesday picks, so if you want to go take a look at that Tuesday video, go check it out. It's only about 5 minutes long. This is for the Wednesday picks. I wanted to get these out to you for a couple of reasons. One, because it's Taco Tuesday tomorrow, and so you can use these with those promos on the various apps. And then also because basketball lines move quickly. If I see good lines throughout this season, I will try to post them on X if I think they're going to move. Some of these lines I'm giving you right now are already moving a little bit. So I'm going to just jump into these. I've got a bunch of picks for you. And then if you want to get in for the cash prize giveaway, just make sure you're subscribed, like the video, and comment 2 of the best bets that you think are going to hit. And if they do, you'll be in the mix for the cash prize giveaway with the rest of the people who also get their 2 picks correct. All right, let's jump into those. All right, you guys, so first we are going to start off with Jalen Brunson. Now, I fully expect Jalen Brunson to be a promo on Wednesday because he's always a promo whenever he's playing. And why is he always a promo? Because he never hits his promos. And so the apps love giving us Jalen Brunson. Usually it's a points promo, but we're going to take him under 6.5 assists. So last year, Jalen Brunson averaged only 3.2 assists against the Cleveland Cavaliers. He averaged 6.8 in general and 7.6 on the season at home. So this doesn't really go with his general stats, but it goes with his stats against this team specifically. So I'm going to roll with it. Obviously, it's the first game. We don't know how these teams have changed. These 2 teams have not changed a lot. They're both kind of just running it back with what they had last year. So hopefully that means, this stat does not change as well. All right, Cam Thomas over 23.5 points. I did not think I would be betting the Nets and the Hornets, but here we are. This is, it's a little risky betting teams like that because they're bad teams. So, the Nets are getting better, supposedly. We'll see. And I think the Hornets actually might get a little bit better as well, but again, we'll see. But I just think this is a wrong line. So Cam Thomas averaged 26.5 last year against the Hornets, 24.5 overall. So even his overall stats was over this line. I also think there's some potential here for Cam Thomas to have a better year than he had last year. And I think Igor Demin, who they picked up as a rookie, might be a better guard than Dennis Schroeder was. So he might get a few more, shots just from Igor Demin playing pretty well. Now, I think Dennis Schroeder was playing pretty well, and I bet on him a lot, especially for his assists last year. And I'll probably be targeting Igor Demin for the same thing. But for today, I'm going to take Cam Thomas. All right, Dyson Daniels over 3.5 assists. Dyson Daniels last season, he averaged 5 assists versus this team, the Toronto Raptors, and 5.1 on the entire season with the Hawks in general. So his average is above this line. His average against this team is above this line. We know Dyson Daniels usually, is good for a couple of steals and blocks, mostly steals. And he's going to pass that ball to somebody. Hopefully that somebody shoots the ball and scores against the Raptors, who aren't really the best team in the NBA. All right, Voos here. We're getting a little bit of a high line for him. Normally, we would see this line at like 16.5, maybe even 15.5. But I'm fine taking it at 17.5. This line I have seen at 18.5. So it's moving on some apps. He averaged 20.4 points against the Pistons last season. He only averaged 16 on the season in general, but that average jumps to 21.3 when Kobe White is not on the court, which he is not going to be. So I also just looked at Josh Giddey props, and I found out that Josh Giddey actually plays better when Kobe White is on the court. But Voos plays better when Kobe White's off the court. He just gets more scoring opportunities. So we're going to go with him in week 1 against the Pistons. CJ McCollum. Now, this chart that I have for you is Corey Kispert's chart from last year. CJ McCollum is basically taking his job on the Wizards. So I put Corey Kispert's chart up here so that you could see that he was averaging, right around 17 points or so. And I think CJ McCollum is going to be a better player than Corey Kispert in this same role against a Milwaukee Bucks defense that should be fairly soft. I just want to take a shot on CJ McCollum. This line, I have seen at 18.5. So if you want the 17.5, you want to get it now because I have seen it moving up. All right, DeMar DeRozan, this could be my favorite one, actually, just because DeMar DeRozan made a lot of money for me last year. I think the Kings in general are, especially to start the season, are going to have kind of a weird rotation just because Sabonis is out, and then they've got a couple new players here. So we don't know what this rotation is going to look like. But this chart here is showing games played with DeMar DeRozan, away games played with DeMar DeRozan on the Kings with no Sabonis on the court. In those games, he averaged 29.1 points and assists with Sabonis on the court, and then without him, which is this chart, 33.8. So he only has like 2 head-to-heads with the Suns on the Kings, and one was over, one was under. So I don't really feel like that data helped us out a lot. But the fact that he's averaging, 7 more points and assists with Sabonis off the court, that's pretty significant to me, so I want to bet on that. All right, my leans here. Franz Wagner over 3.5 assists. This is just a lean because it's a lower payout. So I love the line. I'm happy to take it. I think he will land at 4 probably, maybe even 5 or 6. But it's just not a full payout, so it can't count as a best bet. My best bets are only regular line payouts, just so you know. So Wagner averaged 4.6 assists last season, and he averaged 4 against the Heat. So his average did go down against the Heat. The 2 5-assist games were the 2 home games that he played against the Heat, and they are playing at home. So maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe it doesn't, but I just love the line. If I ever see Franz Wagner at 3.5 assists at a playable payout, I'll probably always be playing that. You can also get Paolo Banchero at 3.5 assists, but the payout is also reduced. So you can kind of take your pick on that, who you think you like better for assisting. Personally, I like Wagner better. Okay, Colin Sexton. Now, he was on the Jazz, and I'm from Utah. So Colin Sexton, I actually made quite a lot of money on betting on him and fading him, just kind of knowing when he was going to get minutes and when he wasn't going to get minutes on the Jazz, which had a crazy rotation last year since they were like tanking and they just weren't playing their starters. So it was kind of frustrating, but also pretty good for betting if you could guess correctly when they were going to get their minutes and when they weren't. Last year, Sexton averaged 23.8 points and assists against the Nets, but of course that was on the Jazz. And that was playing roughly 30 minutes a game in those 4 games. Not in that game where he missed. So is he going to play 30 minutes? Well, maybe, probably not. I don't know what his role on the Hornets is going to be yet. He could only play like 23, 24 minutes. So this is a little bit of a risky bet here. But, we're getting like a 4-point advantage. So if he plays 6 less minutes and scores 4 less points and assists, then we're going to barely hit this line. So I'm going to take a chance on it probably. My leans, just so you know, if you're new here, I sometimes bet them, I sometimes don't, but I throw them out here for you because I think they're in a decent spot, or that the line is a decent line. Now, I will tell you, I did already bet this. All right, Jalen Duren for a double-double. This is just a lean because it's not a full payout, but it's a good enough payout that it's worth taking. So it's almost like, I wouldn't say it's a free square because double-doubles are never a free square, but Jalen Duren double-double is pretty good, especially if you can get it for a decent payout. Against the Bulls, he played 7 games against the Bulls last year. He had a double-double in 6 of those games. So I think the price is good. I'm going to take this for a lean. I wish I could count it as a best bet, but unfortunately the payout's just not good enough for that. All right, so here is the best bet summary and the lean summary. You can take a screenshot of this. I'm not going to read through all the names. We just went over everything. If you want to get in for the cash prize giveaway, just tell me 2 of these best bets. You cannot choose the leans, so choose 2 of the best bets that you like. And if they hit, then you'll be in for the cash prize giveaway with everybody else who also got their picks correct. I'd also love just to hear your thoughts on these players in general, or on this Wednesday slate in general. If you have some players you're really looking at that you think I've overlooked, I would love to go back and take another look at them. because we're all just trying to help each other out here. And we do have a really big Wednesday slate. And tomorrow is Taco Tuesday. So there's going to be a lot of promotions on various apps, not just Prize Picks, that we can pair a lot of these basketball players with. So yeah, let me know what you guys are thinking about. Thanks.